Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today in deck number 595, we're going to talk about Kaervek the Spiteful. Now, Kaervek perplexed me a little bit, I'm not going to lie. 4 mana, we get a 3/2 human warlock that just one line of text, other creatures get -1/-1. I couldn't decide on how I wanted to go about this. The first thing that you think of is, tribal -1s, all the -1 cards, but then that kind of kills him and all your other stuff. So, and Krovak does not care if they're your creatures or not. They're still getting -1. He don't say creatures you don't control or whatever. But so what I thought about doing with Krovak was a good, hey, what's this EDH thing about? I want to learn how to play. So just a good, smattering of Black's effects over the years, and like a starter deck, if you will, a pre-con kind of idea that easy for newer players to grok. You know what I'm saying? So here we go. I guess first there was 2 cards I had to put in because it is Krovak. I had to put in his possessive cards. Krovak's Hex. It deals 1 damage to each non-black creature, in addition to 1 damage to each green creature. Apparently, Krovak don't like the trees. And then the Spite. When you absolutely, positively have to kill somebody at 5. Now, Krovak Spite is actually not a bad card for the combo with the white enchantment. What is it? The unversion was the Chi Stands Alone. Where if you only have that, no hand and no other permanents, you win the game. So you play it, you put an O-ring on it, and then you Krovak Spite, so you have nothing else, and you ta-da. Anyway, obviously we're not doing that in mono black, but I had to put those 2 in just because they were, flavor wise. So I guess we'll go through the ramp, if you will. Dark Ritual is a good core card. Yeah, it's a little on the busted side, but it's a good core, black card. Then we have Bubbling Muck. Bubbling Muck is the sorcery speed black High Tide, And maybe High Tide should have been a sorcery anyway. I don't know. And then we have Ring of Filth, sacking your lands to gain that extra black mana, and that don't have the focus. There we go. Some card draw, Sign in Blood, Read the Bones, Painful Lesson, Funeral Rites, Sangomancy. That pretty well gets across the idea of if you're going to play black and draw cards, you're going to lose life for it. And then, of course, we have the Bonder's Ornament, because I'm me. Let's see. Creatures. This is just like I said, a decent smattering of creatures. We have a Yara, 3 black pips, so we do have a little bit of devotion type things in Timoret, and of course we have Gary, the Grey Merchant of Asphodel. Great card, by the way. I mean, Crowd of Cinders is just going to get bigger with the number of black permanents you control. Gravedigger, good standby to get a creature back. Deepwood Legate introduces the concept of free spells. I mean, it's a shade. I'm going to say that we're just about always going to control the swamp. And if an opponent controls a forest, that's a pretty easy hurdle to clear, right? Nightmare, here again, counting swamps. Falcon Wrath Noble. I didn't go with any specific tribe or anything because I wanted to try to get as many of the, black mana tropes as possible. So, Fate Unraveler is a creature version of, Underworld Dreams. Paragon of the Open Graves introduces the champion type thing, passing out abilities and buffs. Loyal Subordinate. Spike Cannibal's just a great card. I mean, especially with the rise of 1/1 counters. Spike Cannibal, I haven't played it in a while. Vampire Nighthawk, probably one of the better 3-drops in black, arguably. Underworld Sentinel. Really kind of like the Sentinel. Plague Mare, Bloodthirsty Airless. That way, something dies, it gets a counter. Soot Imp, punishing people for playing non-black spells. Vampire of the Moon. I guess we could have gone like a little deep in the vampires, but that's not really Kaervek, right? Fog of Gnats. Flying Regenerator. Yes, Will-o-the-Wisp is better. I don't have a Will-o-the-Wisp. I do have a Fog of Gnats. And it does introduce the regeneration, much like the original zombie here, The Walking Dead. Veto. Gonna have Veto. Nantuko Shade. And doing a little bit here with like Rotting Regisaur. This imprints the idea of black having a cost. So 3 mana 7/6, but you have to discard a card every turn. Yes, you can, in theory, Dark Ritual this out on turn 1. And that's pretty ahead of the curve. Demonic Embrace, a little tidbit from Standard here. Making it a 10 power flyer, it's not bad. And then we have Enchantments. Hissing Miasma, encouraging people not to attack you. Underworld Dreams. Gloom. Yeah, Gloom is pretty... Yeah, it's pretty mean. I'm not going to lie. But it is a decent core card, and it does get the idea out there that, of opposing colors. So, and yeah, I know it's bad to hate on the worst color, but hey, we're also hating on the best color too, Death Grip. Now, this is part of a cycle. They did a bunch of these, but we're in mono black, so we're playing Death Grip. Repeatable counter a green spell. That's pretty big. Yawgmoth's Edict. Play a white spell, they lose a life, you gain a life. And then Snake Cult Initiation. That was the most straightforward way I could introduce poison counters in the deck. This is the only card with poison. But I didn't want to turn it into an infect deck or anything, Did kind of do a smattering of the voting cards. We have a Grudge Keeper, Bite of the Black Rose, and a Tyrant's Choice for the voting. Mind Sludge really shows off Black's love of discard. Rise from the Grave, getting any creature back. Nightmare Lash. We're counting swamps. We might as well, count them. And then Howl from Beyond. Howl from Beyond is probably one of the better learning experiences that I've ever had. In the early days of me learning how to play Magic way back when. I didn't see the value in Howl from Beyond. The fact that it was an instant kind of eluded me, and it's just used as a finisher most of the time because they calculate, we don't really use a lot of instant speed buffs, giant growth, quote unquote, effects, but yeah, because a lot of times we're like, well, that creature's attacking for 5, I'm at 9, okay, I can take it one more time, and then bam, gone. So now let's look at removal. Of course, that's black strong suit. Here again, the death mark to Grasp of Darkness, -4/-4. Help getting around the indestructible thing, along with the Last Gasp. We have Eliminate, Vendetta, Farika's Libation. Quag Sickness is another good one. Most of the time, this is just, sorcery speed murder. Necrotol. It's a great... why is it so hard to focus around that glare? Which is not really glare. Spinning Darkness. Spinning Darkness is a good card. Introduces the alternate play cost. Corrupt, like I said, that's a mean. Infest, just a good board wipe. A removal without removing in Vow of Malice. Sudden Death's another minus card. Snuff Out. Snuff Out is a great, alternate play cost. And Roll Assassin, the idea of repeated creature destruction. And as far as non-basic lands, we don't have a lot. Memorial to Folly, Rogue's Passage, and Everglades. Like I said, not a powerhouse deck in Kaervek. I should have silenced my phone. But here again, we still need decks that we can introduce the format to and introduce colors to and things like that. So that was what I did with Kaervek. Might be a little cheesy. You said I did there. But that is the way. Oh, I got chairs everywhere. I have no clear path to the wall. That is $5.95 on the wall. 5 away from the big 600. So I'm in the process of building deck number 600, but I kind of want to do something special with it to make it different somehow. Got a few ideas rolling around. We'll have to see how it goes. 600, that's a big... Whew. Anyway, I do appreciate y'all watching. Y'all be safe out there. And right now, we're going to shuffle and cut.